November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, a time to heighten awareness about the disease and show support for the more than 6.2 million Americans living with it. David Martin attended an informational session at St. Mary Parish in Westfield where attendees learned about dementia, what it's like to live with it, and how it differs from normal memory decline.
Author Mark Nutting was introduced during the Dementia Info session at St. Mary Parish in Westfield, sponsored by Dementia Friends Massachusetts. Nutting, who attends services at St. Michael's Parish in East Longmeadow, was the primary caregiver for his mother, who had Alzheimer's disease for 13 years.
When I was with her, I knew I was exactly where God wanted me to be. I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I didn't care if I heard I got fired. I didn't care if my house burned down. At that moment, I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, so everything else kind of faded into a shadow. On the one hand, it's very demanding and very difficult, but it's also very rewarding.
Now Nutting devotes free time educating the community about Alzheimer's and dementia, while spending years getting education and training so he is current on all the early signs and symptoms of dementia. He explained that in the early stages, those with dementia are still active.
They're in our churches, and so we need to be able to recognize, why is this person acting a little different than they normally do? And so I talk about some of those signs and how they relate to these normal places that we interact with people, specifically in the churches where I geared it for.
Father John Salatino, former pastor at St. Mary, who is now pastor at St. Mark Parish in Pittsfield, has encountered parishioners with dementia at services.
When you start praying, they're out of it, but then all of a sudden the words will kick in and they'll join you in prayer. So it's one of the last things that we let go of.
Nutting shares with caregiver support groups in Longmeadow the journey he had with his mother. Carmen Lugo, a parishioner at St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield, took care of her parents who had Alzheimer's. She believes it is important to spend time in prayer.
Just go to church, offer it up, ask the Lord to help you deal with everything that goes on, all the challenges that you have to go through. And really, I am so happy that I was in the church, that I had other people helping me.
Father Salatino, whose father had dementia, said it takes a family working together as a community to offer care and rely on faith. A familiar quote about caregivers says, "To love a person is to learn the song in their heart and to sing it to them when they have forgotten it."
To be able to take care of my mom and yet go to the nursing home and be with her. I used to go there every single day and be with her because I didn't want her to forget me. She was a member of the Legion of Mary, and she used to pray the rosary every day, but once she forgot it, I had to be there with her to pray the rosary with her.
Nutting used video clips during his presentation as examples to help others comprehend situations involving dementia.
I've tried for several years now to get into our faith-based communities because in my mind I'm thinking, where else but a faith-based community should we be setting the example of how to lovingly and caringly help people when they're having these problems with dementia.
Father Salatino received positive feedback about the session. He recommends it for other parishes.
You really need to have God involved in your life. You have to have a lot of faith. But also, too, you'd be surprised that the grace and strength that God will give you when you're faced with a situation like helping somebody you love who has dementia.
Nutting was grateful to offer the Dementia Info session at St. Mary's. He hopes other parishes in the viewing audience will contact him to ask for this education. He can be contacted at his website, bookmark.marksuniverse.com. The Alzheimer's Association may be reached at 1-800-272-3900. For Reel to Reel, I'm David Martin.